SmartCAM V17 introduces several new core features that greatly improve everyday usability and increase the speed and efficiency with which many common tasks can be accomplished. Enhancements to the Name View function allow views to now be defined which capture view state settings such as visibility and mask, in addition to view orientation and size. These views can subsequently be recalled quickly with the getView command. Improvements to the layer definition now allow transparency to be specified for each individual layer, so some models may be displayed opaque and others transparent. These new capabilities are found in all SmartCAM V17 applications. Today we will be using SmartCAM Advanced Turning for our demonstration. The new Layer Transparency option makes it much easier to visualize the model and processes by allowing the user to control transparency settings for individual layers, such as for part, stock, or fixtures. As you can see, we have a typical turning solid model loaded, which contains several process toolpaths and wireframe layer profiles. When we look at the layer list, we see there are several named layers containing other currently masked models: stock, chuck, jaws, and tailstock. Let's unmask them so we can see all the models in the setup. We can now see the complete setup, but the shaft model and wireframe and toolpath geometry are now obscured. Using the new Layer Transparency option, we can now solve that problem. Let's edit the stock layer and specify an independent transparency for it. We can now see the shaft model through the surrounding stock. To further show the usefulness of this feature, let's mask our stock model so it's no longer active. Then modify our graphics view display filters to display the inactive, masked stock model. With these settings, we can now modify one of our process toolpaths and change the selected surfaces on the shaft model by clicking on and picking through the stock model. Now that we've modified our selections, let's regenerate the toolpath. As you can see, the independent layer transparency setting allows much better control of your solid models. The transparent model display has also been updated and is of much higher quality than in the past. When the model is reoriented, SmartCAM will accurately reorder and redisplay each transparent model. Now we'll demonstrate how named views can now capture a view size parameter when defining a view. We'll use View Filter to turn off the display of masked elements, and we'll unmask our stock to restore the previous model view. The SmartCAM products have always included 4 predefined named view orientations: top, right, front, and ISO. These views are defaulted to a predetermined fixed view size and position, but when the view is recalled, the model may not always fit as desired. With SmartCAM V17, this problem is solved. We start by opening the getView dialog, which contains a new Preview option, and preview the predefined views. Note that as each existing view is recalled, the model orientation is changed, but the view size is not maximized to fit the entire model into the window. Let's use the Enhanced Name View function to modify and save the front view so that it automatically fits the model to the full screen. There are several new useful options on the Name View dialog box. Previously, Named View always saved the orientation, and the size was set to the current graphics view size at the time the new view was saved. Using the Name View Preview function, we will preview the front view, which will also recall its corresponding view and parameter settings. Notice how when we preview the front view, the orientation and size parameters default to on and current respectively, which are the previous named view behaviors for it. We can see that the model does not fill the full window. Let's change the view size setting to full and save the front view with that setting. We'll now preview the front view to see the change of size. Notice how the model remains oriented to the front, but now it's been automatically fitted to the full window. With the modified front view, it is no longer necessary to use a View Full command to fit the model after retrieving a view. To illustrate this, we'll use getView to choose the front view. Note how the view is now fit to the full window size. We'll zoom out and create a point far off to the right, and again recall the front view. Because the front view is set to fit all geometry onto the screen, both the part model and the point away from it are visible. Another new and extremely useful capability of the Name View feature is the capacity to capture view state information when creating new views. This allows frequently used visibility or mask states to be recalled very simply and quickly, eliminating many potentially error-prone steps required to restore a complex view, and repeatedly saving time during the course of your programming session. We will create a new view that hides all step toolpath and masks the layer wireframe geometry, so that just the solid model setup is visible in our ISO orientation. First, we select the ISO view, then using our Group Selection toolbar, we'll place all steps into the active group and hide the selected geometry. And then we'll mask the wireframe geometry. Let's now create a named view called Setup that captures the current orientation, size, and display state. Since we want the new view to always recall the ISO orientation and current model size, we'll turn on orientation and set size to current. Because we are creating this view as a means to quickly restore mask and visibility settings that show just the solid model setup, we also need to set those corresponding options. In this case, we want to save what is currently unmasked and visible, and we'll name this view Setup. To test our new Setup view, we'll make some changes, then use Get View to recall it. Let's show the hidden toolpath, unmask our wireframe, and change our view orientation. Now let's use Get View to restore our setup display state to the setup view. Note how by simply selecting the saved view, we have automatically restored the view orientation and size, and have hidden the toolpath and masked the wireframe layers. From this example, we can see that it also would be desirable to have a name view to quickly restore the display state back to the setup with toolpath and wireframe geometry displayed. Let's create another view to do just that. First, we will show the hidden toolpath and unmask our wireframe layers. Now we're ready to create the new named view. In this case, this view will be used to restore just the display state, so we turn off orientation and set size to none. We have a layer named Tooling that is currently masked, and we do not want it unmasked with this new view. So we change the mask setting to Masked. The current view has no hidden elements, so we change the visibility setting to Hidden, which will recall the current No Hidden element state. We'll name this new view Show All and then save it. Let's take a look at our new views. We open Get View, then select the Setup view, where only our solid model setup is displayed. It's just as we wanted it. Now we switch to the front view, and then select the Show All view, which instantly restores the view exactly as it was defined, without changing the orientation. Lastly, we'll create one more view to display our tooling layer geometry in the front view. We use the Mask Unmask function to mask all steps, then all layers except our tooling layer. We'll choose the front view, View Full, to display the tooling. Now let's create the named view. For this view, we'll turn on orientation so the view is always recalled to the front orientation, and we'll set the size to current. Similar to our setup view, we'll set mask to unmasked and visibility to visible, so the view remembers what is currently active and displayed and restores only those when selected by Get View. And we save the view. Again, we'll use Get View to preview the new named view. First, let's choose Setup to display the solid model in an ISO orientation, then Show All to display the toolpath and layer wireframe. And now the new tooling view. Note that the front orientation is restored, but only the tooling layer geometry is displayed, just as we specified. As you can see, the version 17 enhancements to named view have added powerful time-saving capabilities. In another video, we demonstrate how these improvements are a benefit when used with the SmartCAM report generator. Please watch that video to see how it will help with your shop floor documentation. SmartCAM V17 introduces several new features that greatly improve usability and increase the speed and efficiency with which everyday tasks can be accomplished, directly reducing costs and saving you money. These new enhancements to the Name View function allow views to be defined which capture view state settings such as visibility and mask, in addition to view orientation and size, and quickly recall them with the Get View command. Improvements to the layer definition now allow transparency to be specified for each individual layer, so some models may be displayed opaque and others transparent. For more information on how SmartCAM version 17 can help save you time and money, contact us at sales@smartcamcnc.com. If controlling your toolpath is important to you, SmartCAM is your answer.